Hi everyone, good afternoon. Thank you guys for joining today's session. Today we are going to see about Python classes and object. So as you know, Python is a trending and very crucial programming language which plays vital role in the IT industry. So we will be exploring various things related to Python. So we will see what are the things are related to classes and object. So before starting the classes, I would like to introduce about myself. Myself Sashi Kumar and I'm basically from Tamil Nadu. Currently I am working in Bangalore. So my profession is a software engineer. So I am working the IT industry past 13 plus years in the software industry. So currently I work in a product based organization as a project technical architect and I handle around 6 applications. Mostly it is payment and financial related and I manage around 13 plus team members in my team. So I have worked on various organizations like ITC Infotech, BizSciences, Neobytes, Verifone, and even I worked on various technologies like Java, Python, Cloud, AWS, Azure, various databases like MySQL, Oracle, MongoDB, and NoSQL databases. And even I worked on front-end technologies like Angular, React, and different technologies like even like Jenkins, CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous deployment, CI/CD like Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes. So you can say I have bunch of tech stack as part of my career experience. So even I got I got into things like working on R&D as well, research and development. So, along with that, I'm a founder of Mercy Technologies, where we teach in our Mercy Technologies around 10 plus software engineers are there. All are working on various companies like Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, Mercedes Benz, Accenture. All these software engineers, so even they teach different courses. That's what we do. So our main intention is to train the students, job seekers, and to make them to join in top IT based company. This is what our main motto is. So this is the very brief introduction about me. In case if you want to know more about me, you can chat with me. You can say hi in the WhatsApp, so we can chat and we can communicate further. So what we are going to do? So today we are going to see about classes and objects in Python. As you know, Python is a very trending language. Python is used in various fields, right? It is used in artificial intelligence. It is used in data analytics. It is used in Python used in data science, right? And also, more computational part, graphical part, right? Various calculations, Python is primarily used, correct? And you know that Python is mainly used for data analytics and data science. Various you can say libraries are introduced in Python, right? So but the fundamental topic, so when I say Python from non-programming perspective, we might be saying, right, Python means it's a programming, means usually students and non-programming background people, they'll be looking, hey, it's a programming, it's difficult. No, our intention is all the programming languages, you can say Python or Java or any other language, all are easy and we can able to understand, right? It's very easy and interesting, right? So our aim is to make you guys to understand, programming is really easy and simple, and even it is interesting as well. So that's what our plan. Today will be deep dive into classes and object. So really it will be useful for you. It will give different perspective. What is a class? What is object? Why we need class and object? Why, things are, this is not only used for Python, but also used in all the programming languages, right? Mostly Java, whichever, language is preparing, whoops, object oriented programming, right? So we will see what is class first, and we will see what is OOPS concept first. I know that even if you go for any interview, either you're a fresher level or experience level, first question they ask in programming is what is OOPS concept? Can you please define few concepts in OOPS? Or then you will be telling about what is class, object, encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, right? Various things. So, but the fundamental topic is class and object. So why we need OOPS or object oriented programming? What it means? What is the point of having this OOPS concept in any programming language? So object oriented programming or OOPS, it is a programming technique, right? Which defines classes and objects. Why we need it? To structure and organize the code. You can say Python, it's a object oriented programming, right? Even Java is a object oriented programming. So without object, right, without OOPS concept, really these programming language, most of them does not exist. So OOPS is the primary pillar concept, right? It cannot sustain without this concept. So it's really needed, right? And we need to have this OOPS concept to reusable code. Why we need to go for OOPS concept? By using inheritance, we can, redundancy, right? We can make reuse the code, right? And also it is easier to manage. We can, arrange the code, depends upon the classification. Say, for example, you are developing employee related classes, employee related logic, then you keep it separate as a employee related. Consider you want to keep as a accounts related logic, then create a accounts class and keep the logic inside accounts. Say, for example, you want to play around, creating payments related information, then create a payments class, right? You can structure it with a different, based on different real world, entities, right? And so the fundamental concept is class and object. So we will see what is class, what is object. So in the middle, you might not be getting all the definitions, but for sure we will come back again. We will see why we need this class and object, what are the things which are needed, right? So you can say class is a template for the object, right? So class is a blueprint. So what is a blueprint, by the way? So you can say template or blueprint means it is a manual, right? It is an instruction manual, right? Say, for example, you are building an house, right? So what we will do first thing we will finalize the place, right? Where we are planning to build the house, right? Once place is finalized, then what is the primary step? First, we will find out the perfect engineer, right? So we will ask him, can you please put a blueprint? Then we will ask, sir, what is your requirement? Then we'll say, hey, I want to go for 3 BHK, right? I want to construct 3 bedroom, right? I want the big balcony, right? I want the garden area. So we'll be telling, right? So each bedroom should look like this. Inside, it should have attached toilet. Then kitchen should be modular kitchen, modular bedroom. I need to have a TV set. We will be giving all the requirements, right? Hey, this is what I want. Then what the engineer does, what he does is simple. So he will make a blueprint, right? Everyone knows, right? So engineer, what he does, he will make a blueprint. He will say, hey, 3 BHK, right? So he will make 2 or 3 blueprints. So you can have, your bedroom, first bedroom here, master bedroom, then second bedroom, third bedroom, then, your modular kitchen here, right? Your balcony here. So he will draw a blueprint and he will show it to you. Sir, this is what the blueprint plan is. Then what he will do, either it will be a physical blueprint or virtual. Nowadays technology is boomed, right? So even they will put it in a 3D format blueprint. They will walk through kind of each room in virtual, right? Then you will say, no, I don't want kitchen here, let the kitchen be at this side. I don't want the master bedroom here. So we will give again corrections. Again, what the engineer does, again he will go back, he will correct, or he will redefine according to your need. Finally, blueprint will be finalized. If blueprint is finalized, that is called class, right? So blueprint, if you observe, it does not exist physically, right? So what it does is it's a logical entity. Hey, this is what we are going to do, but you're not yet done, right? So you can say blueprint is a pattern or specification where we will define the functionality, right? Even in our building and house. That is also we will be defining all the functionality, right? Where things are all needed. And you can say it is a logical entity. It does not exist physically. You not yet, you did not get your house exactly, right? Once you based on the blueprint, what the engineer will do, engineer will give the blueprint to the masons, right? Then group of people, engineer will guide the architecture, right? This is how the building should look like. So once you have the blueprint, what you can do, you can build the house. So again, if you go through the point again, class is a template for the objects, right? You can say this template is a blueprint and object is nothing but a physical house. Once you have the blueprint, you can construct, even you can construct two houses exactly same, right? It will follow the exact same pattern. So you can say class is a blueprint. So what it means, it is an instruction manual for creating an house, right? For building an house. Similar way, blueprint here, class is an instruction manual for creating an object, right? So inside class we will be define all the specifications, right? All the functionalities, right? Even in our original blueprint also we will define everything. And you can say it is a logical entity, it does not exist physically. By using a blueprint, by using a class, we can create any number of objects, but all the objects will be following the same functionalities which are defined in the class. Say for example, you created, engineer created the blueprint. Same way you can, build a house, right? More than one houses. It is exactly same. So this is very clear, right? Then we'll go with what is object. So consider you have the blueprint, right? Engineer build the, created the blueprint. It is finalized or it is freezed. Once blueprint is freezed, then what we can do? We will start constructing the house. We'll follow exact, things which are there in the blueprint. So you can say by using a blueprint, right? We can create the house. Similar way, by using the class, you can create the objects, right? And objects, what it will do? So you can compare the building, right? What the building, physical building will be having. So it will be having all the properties, whatever blueprint it has, exactly it will have. Similar way, object consists all the properties of a class. So whatever properties are we are defined in the blueprint, same thing we will construct in the house. Same way, whatever properties we defined in the class, same thing, objects will be occurring from all the properties from the class, correct? So object exists physically, yes, object do exist physically. You know that once we build the house, right, by blueprint does not, exist physically, but house, right, it exists physically. Same way, you can compare class as a blueprint and object as a building, right? So object do exist physically, right? So you can say object is an instance of the class. What it means? You can say, hey, this building is derived from the blueprint. Same way, by using the class, we have created the object, right? So we will see one real-time example. Consider I have a employee form, right? Correct. Consider you are going to, one event, right? There what they are doing is they have a form, right? ID, name and company. They are asking like, what is your employee ID, what is your name and what is your company, right? What you will do? You will take this, you will put hundreds of Xerox copies, right? Printouts. Then you will give it to each one of them. First person comes, what he does, he is filling ID as 100, E100, employee 100, name as Mercy, the working company is Google, correct? Second person comes and fills ID as 200, name as Angel and company as IBM. Third person comes and and fills ID as 300, name as Joseph and company as Apple. See, these are the objects. So if you observe, all these three objects are having ID, name and company. Why it has only three attributes? Because in the main class, we defined only 3 attributes, right? It defined only 3 attributes: ID, name, and company, right? So all these objects, you can create any number of objects, millions of objects, thousands of objects, right? In real time project, in when we are working in our application, right? In our software industry, when we are building an application in real time, right? So we'll be having millions of objects, right, which are created, right? Because consider we have developed one application called Amazon, right? Amazon will be having millions of users, right? All users will be treated as one object, right? So we'll be storing data in the database, we'll be retrieving and we'll be storing in the object, right? We'll be playing everything in the object only, right? So once object is created, then once class is defined, then we can create any number of objects. But all the objects are inheriting, or you can say acquiring all the properties from the class, right? So without blueprint, you cannot create the building, right? We cannot construct a building. Similar way, without a class, you cannot define object. So object does exist physically, right? So I hope this concept is very clear, right? So we do have a class called employee. So we have a ID, name, and company. And the ID, this and all, nothing is filled because it is a logical entity. It is a blueprint. So one person comes and fills the data. Second person comes and third person comes. All are filling the data. Now, if you observe, each object is unique because even though it has ID, name, company, but each object is unique. First object is having Mercy, second object is having Angel, third object is having Joseph, right? So this is what, class and object. So what we will do is we will see what the class consists. What the class consists here, it has set of attributes, ID, name, and company, right? We will see in Python what the class consists. So class is a collection of attributes and methods, right? So whatever you have seen in the previous one, right? So what are the attributes we have seen? We have seen like ID, employee ID, name, and company, right? These are this and all called as attributes, right? You can say either attributes, or you can say attributes or fields, right? Or instance variables. Another name is, these are the various names, guys. You can note it down in your notebook. Attributes, fields, or you can say instance variables. In Python, in Java, it is called as instance variables. It is not a simple variable, right? It is a instance variable, right? It is a instance variable. So then what others it has? It has methods as well, right? This is the syntax. Class is the keyword. You can give any class name, then colon, right? Then data members. Data members is nothing but attributes or fields, or even you can call it as a data members, right? And instance variables, right? And methods. So method we did not say. We will be seeing it. We will be seeing it, right? Methods will be seeing it. So you can say methods or functions. In Java, in Python, you can say function or method. In Java, we'll be calling it as methods. So basically, inside class, we are having two things. One is say attributes or data members, or fields. Second one is a methods or variables, right? So if you see what is attribute, so inside attribute we are storing the data, right? In the first object, if you see these and all attributes, right? ID, name, and company. So these attributes we can store the data, right? So that is what we are saying, that you know uh, it is a data stored inside object, right? It is a properties or fields or attributes. You can call anything, right? You can call attributes, fields, or properties. Properties also you can call. If someone says, hey, this is the property, it means all these names are exactly same, right? You can note down all these names are exactly same. You can refer using any one of these, right? So it is used to store some value. either function or method. So inside class, we can define second thing is it is a function or method, right? So how the object should behave, you can keep some logic here. What you want to do for this object, right? What do you want to do for this object, right? So this is about class and object. So what we will do? So we will go with hands-on session as we discussed, right? So same thing, whatever we have seen theory points as part of today's session, we are going with the practical, right? So the requisite is you need to install the Python, right? You can go to Google, you can type, download, uh, Python latest version, then you will be downloading the Python. Then you can install the exe file. Once you installed, then you can go with Notepad and command prompt, or you can go with any editors. Currently, I am using Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code is one of the editor. So you can go and download Visual Studio Code, or you can install PyCharm as well. There are various editors which are used in. There are various, things which are used to develop, Python programs. Right? So we can make use of this, right? So let me increase it, file, increase the size of the font. Setting file, can go to preference, then settings, right? You can type font. Yeah, so font we can increase to 25. Okay, so let's go back. So yes, it is increased. Possible will increase to 30 as well. Yes, it's visible, right? Yes, we are good. So what I am doing is I am just experimenting some whether the Python works perfect or not. Welcome to Mercy Technologies. I am typing something. Okay. So what I am doing is I am running like this, right? So let me rerun it. Yes, we get the output as welcome to Mercy Technologies. So we are good in developing a Python application. All right. So what we are going to do is, so we are going to define our class and object, right? So for that, what I can do is I can go with file, new file. Okay. Here you can select whichever you want to give it, right? I can go with as a Python file, right? So what I will do is I can define, we have seen, right? What is a class? So we seen that how to define a class, right? How to define a class? It should have class name, right? Then we'll be having attributes and methods or function, right? So what we will do is we will go with as a class. This is the keyword. You can give any class name. So we are going to develop same example, right? What we are going to do, we are going to develop same class, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one object, something like this. This is the employee class, right? So let's go and create a employee class. You need to define, give column, right? You need to give the class should end with a colon, right? Then when you enter, you need to give some tab as well, right? Let me save this class. Control, I will copy the class, Control S. I will go and create employee Python, right? .py. You can give extension as .py because it is a Python file, right? Yes, class is good. We have created the class. Now what I'm going to do is I need to define three properties, right? So in Python, Python is very simplified. It is not like other languages. It is not like Java. You no need to declare any variables, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to define three variables. Say for example, ID, right? Name, and what others I need to develop. Say third one is a company, right? As part of our blueprint, ID, name, and company. Correct. These are the three attributes we are going to define. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to define a constructor. So how I can define a constructor? I can go with define, right? This is a keyword again. You can give some constructor name as init, right? See, automatically it came something like this, right? So it just given self. I will explain the coding part. You no need to worry. So I can go with ID, name, and the company, right? This is what my constructor looks like. Correct. Now, if you observe, this is my constructor, right? Again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to define something like this self dot id equal to id. Coding part I will explain you. No need to worry. Again, you can go with self dot name equal to name. Then self dot company equal to company, right? Company. Correct. Perfect. So we are good. So what is this? This is nothing but a constructor, or you can say initializer, right? You can say constructor or initializer. Initializer, right? So we have defined now. It's very simple. Now what I'm going to do? Class is defined. That's all. Class is over, right? So what this class consists? Simple. This class consists data members, right? If you want, you can define on method also. Let's define on method also, right? Let me go. It is a method. So what method I'm going to define? So I will create a keyword called def. Def is a keyword definition. We are going to define. Here we are defining a constructor. Here we are defining a method. What is the method name? I can say display, right? Display is the method name. Correct. So again, I can say I'm just passing one reference, right? Self is a argument, right? So consider I'm just printing, you know, ID, right? I'm just printing something. Say for example, just printing. I'm just printing something. Okay, I'm just printing. So now the class thing is over because the class consists class name, and the colon, right? It is ended with colon, correct? So what this class consists? It consists attributes and a method. So we have defined on constructor. I will come to this part later point of time, right? So that's all. Class is over, right? So and it has a method called display method. And what we are doing? It's simple. What we are doing? It's simple. This method basically as a just we are printing one statement. That's all. Then again I am coming back. So this is where my main program starts. Consider you are printing something. Say for example, print. You can print something, right? Welcome to Mercy Technologies. Technologies, right? If I want, I can print something. Hello, welcome to Mercy Technologies. In double quotes, I am printing it, right? So what I am doing is, let me clear the console, right? So let's run this. How to run it? Again, it is simple. You can right click, run Python, run file in terminal. If you click right, this is not showing properly, but if you see right, you should see welcome to hello, welcome to Mercy Technologies. This is the output we are getting. What is the output we are getting? Simple. Hello, welcome to Mercy Technologies. So if you see only this line number 13 only getting printed, correct? Line number 13 only getting printed. Correct. So line number 13 only getting printed. So, but we defined class and object, right? We defined the class basically. So you can say we just created a blueprint, right? But blueprint does not exist physically, right? So what we can say, again, I'm removing this. I can say program is started, right? I'm just printing. That's all, nothing else. If you observe again, I'm just printing program is started, right? Let's run this. See here, program is started. Perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to define something. I'm going to create the object. Blueprint is ready, right? If you observe, blueprint is ready, which has ID name company. See, in blueprint, we do have ID name and the company, and we have a method. What this blueprint does, it is printing something, just printing. Now we are coming to our main part. We are going to create the object, right? How to create the object? Again, I'm just printing, creating an object. We are going to creating first object. You can say creating first object. How to create the first object? Simple. It's very, very simple in Python, right? How I will create the first object means equals. There are three points here. First point is, first step is, okay, create the object, right? Creating object. So how to create the object? You can define equals employee, right? It gives the helper. So you can define, see the exact building, right? It should follow the blueprint. What you need to give? You need to give the ID, name, and the company, right? So what is the ID? ID is simple. ID, name, and company. What is the first object? ID is nothing but E100. Name is Mercy. Google, right? I will give E100. This is the employee ID. Then this is the name, Mercy. And which organization Mercy works? Mercy works with Google. So I'll give it as a Google. That's all. Object is created. Simple, right? First step is creating the object. Object is created. What is the second step? Creating the reference variable, right? Second step is creating pointer. You can say pointing variable or reference variable, however you want, you can say, right? So what it means, I am going to create a reference variable. Say for example, emp1 is the reference variable, right? Third point is linking the object and the reference variable, right? What is the third point? Linking object and reference variable, right? Reference variable. So how I can do? Simple. I will take this object in single line only. By using equals operator, I can do, right? How can I do? By using the equals operator. So object is created. Right hand side object is there. Left hand side reference variable is there. I will just use equals method. That's all. All three steps I have done something like this, right? Let me remove this. See, step 1, step 2, step 3. All are done it in single line, correct? What I have done, it's very simple, correct? So I have created the object, right? In Python, it is very, very easy. You no need to do anything else. Just create. In Java, we will be using something like this, new keyword, right? But in Python, we will not use new keyword, right? Just create as a employee. Then what are the arguments or parameters, attributes it as? Employee has 3 attributes: ID, name, and the company. Same thing we are passing it. Correct. Now what I am doing? Simple. I will call the method name, right? We have created 3 steps. One is created the object, first step, right? What are the data you want? First object, ID is this, name is this, company is this. Then creating the reference variable. Yes, we have created. Again, in Java, you will be defining something like this, employee, something like this. But in Python, it is very simplified. You no need to do it. It knows, automatically it knows what type of object it is going to point. What is a reference variable? A reference variable, you will be having hundreds or thousands of objects. You need to reach the object, right? To reach the object, to access that object, you need the reference, right? So reference variable is nothing but to refer that object, correct? Third one is linking the object by using the equals equals operator. Correct. Equal symbol, we can link it. What I'm going to do, simple. I'm going to access emp1 dot, you know, what method we have created? Display method, right? Display method, right? Very simple. I'm going to call this method. Now what I'm going to do, run this program, right click, run Python. See what it has. Let me rerun again, right click, run Python. See, again I am getting the output as program is just started, because, and we are printing, just printing. Let me change something here. This is which method? This is display method, right? Okay, I'm just printing something like printing from display method, right? Display method. Let me save it and rerun again. Let me save it and rerun again. See, if you see the output, right? Program is started. Where it is from? This is the output. Let me copy paste the output in the notepad. The separate notepad, let me copy paste, right? If you see the output, program is started. Where it is coming from? It is coming from here, right? It is coming from our main thing, line number 13. Program is started. So what happened? It came here. It is called display method. When you call the display method, it is going inside here. What you are doing here? Printing from display method. See the output? Printing from display method. So now I want to print something inside this method. I want to print object values. What I am going to do? Let me print few more statements here. Print, right? So what I'm going to do? I'm going to print. This is the syntax, guys. If I can say, hey, employee ID. This is the employee ID, right? Employee ID is nothing but this, right? How I can print employee ID, right? This I will go with something like this, right? Self dot ID. That's all. So I will copy paste the line. I will copy paste the line. Copy. I will paste it. Right? This is very simple, right? Make sure you are giving proper indent. Correct. So let's close the double quotes as well, right? You should make sure you are doing everything perfectly, right? Perfect. So don't give space here. Now if you observe, so what I am doing, simple. Now what I will do, let me run the program again. Let's observe the output again, guys. See here, this is my output now. Guys, same output I am copy pasting here. See here, let's analyze line by line, guys. Guys, listen very carefully. First it is started, program is started. This is the first line we are getting, right? We are getting program is started. What we are doing? We are creating an object to employee class. Value as employee ID. We are supplying name and company. We are supplying all three values. And EMP1 is the reference variable which is pointing. Now I am calling it display method. Inside display method, what you are doing? Just I am printing, because self is nothing but in Python it is called as self. In Java it is called as this. Correct. So you are just referring, hey, this is nothing but self, right? Self.id. So what this method is does, it is printing something like this. First line, printing from display method. So what is the first object? Employee ID is nothing but 100. So we are printing all places employee ID. Let's print employee ID, name and the company. Correct. Let's print employee ID. What is self dot name? Then self dot company. Correct. Let me recompile again. You know, when you are saving automatically, this is done. Now what I will do, let me run again. Correct. You observe now the output. See the output again. Let's copy paste into our editor. If you observe the output, see here, we'll go again line by line. So it is printed, program is started. You have created the object. You are accessing the object through reference variable display method. What display method does? It is printing, right? It is printing from display method. Yes, we are getting this employee ID. What is the employee ID for that object? 100. What is the employee name? Mercy, right? What is the employee company? Google, right? It's very simple. What we have done? We have created an object. So how the object is initialized, right? Simple, true constructor. You see, when I am creating the object, automatically constructor will be called. See, I said, right, I'll be explaining this later. This is very simple. So automatically this constructor is called ID, whatever you are supplying, E100, that will be transferred here, right? And the name, Mercy, company as Google. See, attributes are initialized through constructor. Whatever you are passing it here, these values are initialized to object, right? First object using constructor. See, it is initialized saying that A, for this attributes, I am initializing whatever user is supplied as part of object creation. Same what I am doing, I am initializing with the first object, right? ID, name, and the company, correct? So constructor basically it is used to initialize instance variables or attributes, correct? So we just initialized, we created one object. Whenever I'm creating, automatically constructor is called, correct? So what that constructor is done, constructor is initialized something like this. One object is created and this guy is done, right? So who is pointing this one? So who is pointing this object? EMP1, see, same one we are accessing EMP1 dot display, or you can directly call EMP1 dot, ID EMP1 dot company, right? It's simple, right? Correct. Now I'm going to create one more object. I'm going to create one more object. Guys, listen, very easy. Now, but you will be having, sir, what is self? So define, we'll deep dive into this program again. See, I have a class which is having a employee type, right? I am defining on class. Inside class, I have three attributes: ID, name, and company. Correct. So in Python, you no need to define the attributes separately. Whereas in Java, you will define all the attributes, then you will go with constructor. In Python, it is very simplified, right? Inside constructor, if it is there means it is class instance variables, right? So what I do, how I am accessing this one using self. Self is nothing but current object, correct? Current, correct. In Java, it is called as this. This is nothing but current object. Same way in Python, it is self. Self.id. Okay, self.id, self.name, self.company. So I'm just initializing. I am referring. Self is used to refer the current instance variable, right? Current object. So it is a constructor, right? It is a initializer or constructor. You don't have any parenthesis concept in Python. In Java, usually you use parenthesis. So it is ending with colon, right? Class, constructor, and method all are ending with colon, right? So you are initializing instance variables, right? Then you are defining a method. Again, how can I access? By using self, right? Self.id. Dynamic values you want to keep, you keep inside parentheses, right? Dynamic value. Static value you want to keep, you just keep inside double quotes, right? So what I'm doing, I'm just printing ID, name, and company. So this is the first object is created. We have created the first object, right? I can say creating. Yeah, already we have there in the top right, creating the first object. Guys, I hope that everyone is following. Please attend the complete session whoever attend the complete session, they only eligible for getting the certificates. Again, I am repeating, you need to attend the complete session. At the end of the session, we will be sharing the feedback link. So whoever fills the feedback link, they only will be getting the certificates. So you need to attend the full session, then only you will get the complete concept. Okay. So let's switch back to our thing one, right? So let's switch back to our this one. So we have created the first object, right? Created the first object. How we have created? Similar way. How I can create the second object? Simple, right? Let's create the second object. So we are going to follow the same structure, right? So first object, what it has? Something like this, right? Second object value is something like this, correct? So by using the second object, how you will create? Again, it is simple, right? You will create for which class you are going to create? See, when you are when you are building the building, right? You need to refer which blueprint you are going to refer, right? So for constructing blueprint is ready. There can be consider you referred two engineers or three engineers. You are given the salary as well. Three engineers built different three types of blueprint. But which one you are going to use when you are building actual building? Similar way, when you are creating an object, which blueprint you are going to use? Which class is going to create object? There can be employee class, account class, payment class, student class. I am going to define, right? Hey, I'm going to use this blueprint. So what value you are going to give? So you are going to give E200. The employee ID as 200. What is the name? Name as Angel. Which company does Angel work? Angel works with IBM, right? IBM, it is an MNC again, right? So who is going to refer? First object is going to refer by EMP1. You can give any name. EMP1, E2, E1, you can give any name, OBJ1, doesn't matter. It is just a pointer or, you can say reference, right? So I can give EMP2 or E2. You can give anything. Let's make it EMP2. Okay. See, again, it is simple. When I'm creating the second object, what happens? Automatically constructor will be called. Initializer will be called. So initializer, what it does? It is assigning 200, Angel and IBM. Who is pointing? It is pointed by EMP2. Correct? Second object is ready. What I'm going to do? Let me print some empty line. Okay. Let me print statement. Let me just print for our understanding purpose some dotted lines. Okay. Now what I'm going to do? I'm going to call EMP2 dot display. Now I am going to call second time display. Let's observe the output. Then we will go with the program, right? So I will copy the output here. Okay. Let me copy the output in our this one. You observe the program. See, program is started. Guys, listen very carefully. It's very easy and interesting, right? See, program is started from here, line number. First time you are creating first object. That time automatically initializer or constructor is called. One physical object is ready. See here, one physical object is created, right? Then you are creating the second object. Automatically second object also created. Now what you do? You are printing first object EMP1 dot display. Then it went, right? Flow it went, right? Let me take a screenshot and refer you to make you more understanding, right? See, this is the first object, right? So let me open Paint. You see, right? So let's print. If you observe, right? Yes. So who is pointing this object basically? This object is pointed by EMP1, Correct. This object is pointed by EMP1 reference. Correct. This object is pointed by EMP1. Correct. See here, who is pointing? EMP1 is pointing this object. Correct. So how can I access EMP1 dot? Inside this, there are many things are there. One is like this attribute. Second one is a display method, right? You see, there is a display method as well. Correct. How can I access this display method? There is a display method as well. EMP1 dot display. So when it gone inside EMP1 dot display, so how can I access this object? From outside, you can access using reference variable. See, you are accessing EMP1 dot display. But inside class, how can I access? Nothing but self, right? So what I will do, self dot ID, self dot name, self dot company. See, same thing we are doing it, right? That's why we are getting output as first time. When I am calling EMP1 dot display, first time EMP1, when it goes inside, EMP1 is nothing but self, right? Then it is printing. What is printing? ID. Self.id is nothing but E100, E name, then E company, right? It is printed. Then flow is coming outside. Again, you have created the second object. Second time, what you are doing? You are calling display method, right? What you are doing? Second time also, you are calling a display method. Let me open the second one. Right. Second time, what you are doing? Let me paste it. See here. This is the second object. Correct. This is the second object. Correct. So who is pointing second object? Second object is pointed by EMP2. Correct. EMP2. EMP2 is a pointer who is pointing the second object. Correct. How can I access outside the class? Outside the class EMP2 dot by using reference EMP2. Again in second object you are having a display method, right? Display method. Right. That's what I said. Class will be containing attributes and function or method. Correct. So EMP2. So when you are accessing EMP2.display, then you are accessing EMP2 is nothing but EMP2 is pointing second object. Correct. EMP2 is a reference variable which is pointing second object. Correct. So by using EMP2, you can access the second object. By using EMP1, you can access the first object. So how I am accessing display method? Second time I am accessing EMP2, right? So the second object is there. It is passed, right? So when I am going inside display method, self is nothing but second object, EMP2, correct? Self is nothing but EMP2. So you can replace something like this for understanding EMP2, but this is not correct. So self is nothing but EMP2. When I am accessing EMP2.id is nothing but E200, EMP2.name Angel, EMP2.company is nothing but IBM, correct? So that's why in output you are getting second time employee ID is 200, employee name Angel and employee name IBM. This is very simple, right? Very, very simple. Correct. Let's go and create the third object as part of our idea. What is our third object? This is our third object. Third object name is Joseph. Company is Apple. ID is E300, right? So let's create the third object. Again, it is simple. What I will do? I will create third object, right? I'll copy paste. We are going to create the third object, right? Third object. So I will create blueprint is nothing but employee type. What I'm going to create? I'm going to create employee 300, ID as 300, name as Joseph, right? And company, which company does Joseph works? He is working with Apple, right? Apple. So now who is going to point? Someone should point, right? That pointer is nothing but reference variable is nothing but emp3, right? That's all. When I'm creating the object, automatically constructor or initializer will be called. So this object is empty now. So this guy is initializing whatever we are passing, right? It's a special method, right? Constructor. So that initializer, whatever you are passing it here, same will be copied here, right? So you are passing it as this one. That object is initialized, correct? Using initializer or constructor. Now what I'm going to do? I am going to call, again I am going to print something. I am going to call emp3.display, correct? Then third object again, how will you access third object? Again, you can access that object using emp3, correct? emp3. So now let's run this. It's self-explanatory, guys. Let's run this and quickly let's see the output, correct? See, guys, you got three out, right? Three types object output, correct? Copy. Let me paste it in our this one. First program is started. Guys, I'm going very slow, I know, because this is very basic and fundamental. If you guys understand this, then the job is very simple, correct? The job is very simple. The job is very simple, correct? The job is very simple. So what we are going to do is simple, right? Correct. So the job is very simple, correct? Okay. So the job is very simple. What we are done is we have created three objects, correct? Same thing we have displayed. Let's go through quickly about the, let's rewind complete session, right? So what we have done, we have created a class called employee and we have defined on initializer or constructor. This is used to initialize the object, right? I will be giving the complete material, guys. Don't worry. And we defined one method by using def keyword. Def is nothing but defined, right? You can give any name, display or display employee details. You can give any name, right? Display employee details. But if you give meaningful name, that should be good. Okay. You can give any name, but name should be meaningful and the method name or function name should start with lowercase. There are some, standards of naming convention. Then you are passing self, right? Simply you are passing self. Now, inside this, if you want, you can print this or you can remove as well. So what I am doing, I am just printing some static value for our understanding purpose. Employee ID, employee name, and the employee company. You can use F as well for formatting, right? Then inside that you are putting flower bracket, right? Parenthesis, self.id, self.name, self.company. That's all. Class is over. Up to this much is defining the class, right? Up to this much, we have created a blueprint. That blueprint has three attributes and one method, correct? Let's see overall. Again, let's go back. I promise, right? I will come back again. So what is class and object? Now, if you go through all the points, it will be very simple, right? See, why we need this is used to structure, right? For employee related things, you can structure and organize the code, right? It is easier to manage. You want to have employee related configuration, information, keep it under employee class, right? You want to have a different, department, keep it as a department, because in real time application, there can be hundreds of classes. You can say thousands of classes, right? We will be writing it. So how you will manage the classes? So by using this OOPS concept, right? Then we have seen what is a class. Now, if you go through all the points one by one, class is a template, right? It is a blueprint, right? Basically, it is a instruction manual, right? For creating an object, right? by inside class, you will be define all the specifications and functionality. What functionality you are defining here? Simple, you are displaying employee details, right? This is the functionality. Hey, you want to define one more method, you know, uh, find the salary, or consider you are having one attribute as salary, find increment, then every year you want to give increment, right? Then you, based on rating, then you just assume you want to give 20 percentage hike or 30 percentage hike or 8 percentage hike. By default in industry we are getting 8 percentage, right? Average hike, right, every year. So you will define all the specifications inside your class. See, that's what you are doing. It's a pattern. We will define all the functionality, whatever you want. You define as a method or functions, right? What you want to perform, what you want to compute. It's a logical entity. We seen, right? It does not exist physically. Blueprint anyway does not exist physically, right? Then you can ask, which exists physically? It is a building. It is an object, right? Object exists physically. Now, by using class, you can create any number of objects, right? By using class, you can create any number of objects, correct? So that's what we have done. See, we defined only one class, right? We defined only one class from line number 1 to line number 13, right? We have created 3 objects. If you want to create, you can create any number of object. Create 4th object, 5th object. It is possible, right? So what about object? By using class, we can create any number of objects, right? First point. Second point. So object consists all the properties of a class. See, in class, what we defined? We defined three attributes: ID, name, and company, right? Object also has 3 attributes, right? Correct. So whatever properties we have defined in the class, objects are acquiring all the properties from the class, correct? ID, name, and company. We cannot insert salary here because class does not have an attribute called salary, correct? Only 3 attributes, objects occurring all the attributes. Yes, object exists physically. Building exists physically, even though building follows the blueprint. Blueprint is a logical entity. It is not exist physically, right? Whereas building exists physically, similar way, object exists physically. So an object is an instance of the class, correct? By using the class, we can create the object. Then we have seen, we have ID, name, company. This is the class. Then we have created 3 objects, right? ID, first object, second object, third object. Then we have seen what the class consists. Basically, it will contain attributes and methods or functions. See, the class consists attributes and only one method here, right? Then what is attribute? It is used to store the value inside object, right? You can call it as a properties or fields or attributes or instance variables, however you want, you can call it as. Again, it is second one is function or method. It is a computational part, what you want to process, right? As part of your requirement, correct? So yeah, so when we are going through the program again, like we have seen how to create the object. If you want to create more methods, you can define again, right? Guys, I hope the class is very easy and you can able to understand, right? So yeah, so class is not yet over. Please don't leave the session. I will give few more instructions, right? So then you can attend our then we'll share this one. Now what I am doing is, so this is how today we have learned, what is class, what is object, everything, right? Now, if you observe, right? So we have founded Mercy Technologies. It is an educational company or educational institute, where which is founded by software engineers. We have around 10 to 15 software engineers. All are working in various organizations like Accenture, JP Morgan, different organizations, right? Our vision is to provide the students with the best real time and hands-on coding. Okay, so we usually I will tell you in the later slide, we have different courses like Java, Python, automation testing, cloud, many courses we often conduct, our paid courses. So in our paid courses we teach very in depth, right? We consider the student or job seeker does not have any programming language, we will start from very basic ABCD, we will go with very in depth, right? And we will give real time as well. So suppose if you ask me like how you use in this method, we will say, hey, this is how in our real time project we'll be using it. So our vision is to give 100% practical knowledge, right? Line by line we will type, we will explain, right? Because when you are learning programming, right, you know some other institutes and all, what they will do, they will put one program, then that concept is over. No, because it is a free session, so we can cover only 2 hours only, right? That's why I made it only one program. In our regular batch paid sessions in constructor means minimum we will explain 10 to 20 programs, right? Similar way, class and object means 10 to 20 programs. So our mission is to train the students so that they will be placed in top IT companies, mainly product based organization, right? So where you will be, getting opportunity to work with very big companies, right? Tier 1 IT companies. That is what our main vision. So these are the services we are offering. So we are offering, first thing is mini and major project. So when you are doing in your college, right, you will be doing with your mini project and final year major projects. So we will not simply give the project, but instead we will train you the project, how to do it step by step. Because in real time project, right, in college, so you will be working with the database, front end, back end, how to do deployment, everything we will be teaching, and we will help you to build the project by your own. Okay, that is our thing. And also we will be offering our online internship to college students. In case if you need, again it is a paid base for a reasonable fee. Again we will be training you. We will not simply give the work, we will be training you with the real time project internship we will be providing. And also we are providing various courses like Java, Python, automation testing, data structure, Spring Boot, cloud technologies, artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science, data analytics, various courses we are providing. Mainly our plan is to make you to, it is not simply, learning the things. One is like if you are a student, you can study, and in your academy you can, secure more than 90 plus marks in your academy, right? Because we will teach everything in programming line by line, similar way. And when you are, uh, our idea is after your college course, after your degree, you should directly go and attend the interview. You should be able to crack, because whatever we teach, when you are completing the course, you should get minimum 3+ years experience knowledge. Okay, at least minimum 2+. You should be able to crack experience level interview. So our idea is we will start from very basic fundamental, considering you are a non-computer background student. We will teach very in depth. When you are completing the course, you should have minimum 2+ years or 3+ years experience knowledge. You should be able to crack it, so that you will be getting in very top based IT companies, right? And also when you are doing the college project, internship and all, we will be training you. And after the course, even we will start with real time project. Say for example, how to develop Python real time project, that will be hosting as a separate course, right? So this is what we do. Yeah, we have introduced everything. So so the material is there. So let me open the material as well. So as I said, we'll be giving the material, right? So if you observe the material, right, this is how the material looks like. See, so I will be sharing this material. So whatever I have covered, so I have defined very in depth, like, what is class, how to define a class, what is constructor, how to define it, then, how to define a method, right? I have given very writing, very, clear explanation how to create the object, what happens when you're creating the object, how to call the method, how to do it, what are the key concepts. Then even I have given the program as well, right? 2 programs I have given. So in case if you did not message me, just WhatsApp me to this number saying that, you have attended today's session. That is really important so that I'll be able to share the material, guys. Let me give the number saying this is my WhatsApp. This is our official WhatsApp number. So say that you have attended today's Python session. Attended Python classes and object session. Just WhatsApp to this number, guys. I'll be sharing the material. Yeah, I see many members are replying.